The Federal High Court, sitting in Abuja, has held that the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice lacked the power and authority to initiate, maintain and prosecute offenses under the Electoral Act 2022. Plus, the Nigerian Air Force has executed a devastating airstrike against terrorists within the Mandara Mountain in a bold step of air power and precision night warfare capabilities. Also, trending news in the world of sports. This is Panorama. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. The Federal High Court, sitting in Abuja, has held that the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice lacked the power and authority to initiate, maintain and prosecute offenses under the Electoral Act 2022. The trial judge, Justice Nyang Eko, gave the verdict while delivering judgments in a suit filed by the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the 2023 governorship election in Ogun State, Oladipupo Adebutu, and 9 others, with the AGF as the sole defendant. The plaintiffs had in their originating summons prayed the court to stop the AGF's office from prosecuting them over an allegation of vote buying leveled against the gubernatorial candidate by the governor of the state, Dr. Abiodun, and the All Progressives Congress. They prayed the court to hold that the AGF cannot commence, initiate and continue the prosecution of electoral offenses under the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 in view of sections 153, 158, 160 and paragraph 15 part 1 of the third schedule of the Constitution. Justice Eko agreed with the plaintiffs that it was only INEC that could initiate and maintain criminal proceedings for offenses under the Electoral Act 2022. The court further held that the initiation, commencement and prosecution of electoral offenses under the Electoral Act 2022 by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice was a violation of sections 153, 158 and 160 and paragraph 15 part 1 of the third schedule of the Constitution and sections 144 and 145 subsection 2 of the Electoral Act and the independence of INEC. The Nigerian Air Force has executed a devastating airstrike against terrorist hideouts in Chikidi and Degbawa in a bold demonstration of air power and precision night warfare capabilities. A statement by the Deputy Director of Public Relations and Information, Group Captain Kabiru Ali, indicates that the night operation targeted insurgent enclaves deep within the treacherous Mandara Mountains, delivering a crippling blow to the terrorist stronghold and disrupting their activities. Acting on credible intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance data, reports indicated that the terrorist leader Ali Ngudi and his fighters had planned a high-level engagement at the location. Following this intelligence, the NAF immediately launched a precision night strike under the cover of darkness, achieving complete surprise with coordinated firepower, extensively destroying the terrorist logistics and command center, obliterating multiple structures and eliminated scores of terrorists in their hideouts. This operation against Boko Haram enclaves across the theater significantly degraded their fighting capabilities while creating favorable conditions for ground troops to advance and dominate the battle space. The successful execution of this night operation underscores the NAF's growing dominance in both day and night air power capabilities, proving that insurgents cannot longer operate under the cover of darkness. Through relentless precision strikes and sustained air operations, the NAF remains committed to utilizing its formidable air power to neutralize terrorist networks and restore lasting peace to the region. Elsewhere, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has approved for Max Air to resume its domestic flight operations following the successful completion of 90 days economic and safety audits After a comprehensive safety and audit and re-inspection of Max Air's organization procedures, personnel and aircraft in line with the NCAA's Regulations 2023, it has been confirmed that Max Air has the capacity to sustain safe flight operations and resume domestic flights effective from March 17, 2025. The Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection of the NCAA, Michael Achimugu, in a statement says NCAA will continue to monitor Max Air closely through an enhanced surveillance program to ensure strict compliance with its regulations. He added that the authority remains committed to ensuring that all airlines adhere to the highest safety standards for the continued well-being of the aviation industry. Let's move on to legislative matters where Senate leader Okpeyemi Bamidele has pointed accusing fingers at beneficiaries of the dismantled subsidy regime, who he says have ganged up against President Bola Tinubu in the last 18 months to make governance difficult. He explained that President Tinubu did not remove subsidy, but it was gone before the National Assembly made provisions for it till May 2023, and that even if President Tinubu did not mention it, it would come to an end 2 days after his inauguration. In a statement, Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele said this administration is implementing diverse measures to stabilize the domestic economy, noting that statutory transfers to sub-national governments from the Federation accounts have significantly increased. He said his administration is determined to not to retrench Nigerian workers regardless of the situation the country finds itself. He expressed confidence that the 2025 budget was drafted in a way that would largely solve the socio-economic challenges, not only at the national level, but also at the sub-national level. Let's also tell you that the House of Representatives has vowed not to compromise standard on ongoing road construction and rehabilitation across the country, assuring public of timely delivery of the projects. Chairman House Committee on Works, Akin Alabi, stated this during an oversight visit to the ongoing construction and rehabilitation of some major highways. National Assembly correspondent Isa Mohammed has details.
The ongoing road projects inspected by the committee are Abuja Kaduna and Abuja Lokoja Federal Highways, put at 20% completion stage. Committee members expressed satisfaction with the quality of work at both locations. They, however, caution against the use of substandard materials, as the committee will pay unscheduled visits to monitor and evaluate progress.
We want to see results for every single kobo allocated. Now, this contract has been awarded, and we as a parliament, we want to ensure we follow up on this project so that quality is ensured and timeline is maintained.
What we are doing now, we are milling the Wariam binder up to a depth of 11 cm. Then a fresh stone base is brought and compacted to a compacted thickness of 150 mm with a stabilized 3.5% cement. And then after that, we have our CRCP, that's a continuously reinforced pavement structure, of a 200 mm thickness.
The two dual carriageway roads have 22 kilometers stretch each, with 12 months time frame for completion. In Abuja, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
And now let's connect with our Lagos Network Center for the rest of Panorama and Hingino. It's over to you.
Thank you, Ayodeji. As part of measures to ensure food security in the country, Nigeria and Brazil have signed the commercial phase of the $1.1 billion Green Imperative project to boost agricultural productivity and enhance private sector investment. Vice President Kashim Shettima, during the signing of the commercial phase of the GIP-1 at Presidential Villa, said the GIP will leverage strategic opportunities to drive the nation's economic growth and boost investor confidence. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
This is the signing of the Green Imperative Project, the largest agricultural project in Africa, which prioritizes the development of sustainable, low-carbon agriculture, aims to develop structural conditions to boost food production in Nigeria in an efficient and competitive manner.
As this administration addresses the food security challenges we are facing and dovetails with the 8-point agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it is imperative for us to synergize and use existing initiatives such as the GIP for the purpose of policy continuity, for the purpose of utilizing, leveraging on strategic opportunities to drive our economic growth and also to enhance investor confidence.
The MOU for the $1.1 billion GIP Phase 1 was signed in 2018, while the $4.3 billion Phase 2 of the project and the $2.5 billion component were signed in Brazil during President Tinubu's visit last year.
On behalf of the Brazilian government, I would like to congratulate the Nigerian authorities who led this long negotiation process and the Getúlio Vargas Foundation, which, with its vast experience, managed to bring it to a successful conclusion.
We have commenced from today. Work will begin in terms of starting all the implementation process. And I want to say that the 774 local governments of this country will all be taken on the basis of their comparative and competitive advantage.
This is lighting up the agri-hub and farm, even for us, and so would it be for the other sub-nationals. So we're looking forward to taking huge advantage of this opportunity as sub-nationals, because this project is our project. We are going to work this project. We are going to make sure that it benefits our people. Whatever we will do to ensure that our farmers have benefited from this project, we will do it.
Other stakeholders assured full support to the success of the project, describing the signing of the agreement as a good example of the South-South cooperation, as both countries are very passionate about the project, having seen what Brazil has achieved and how it turned a barren savanna into one of the prolific agricultural sites in the world. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Time now for some messages. We will be back shortly.
Government of Nigeria warns vandals of national assets, electricity transmission towers, cables and other facilities to desist from this act of sabotage. Vandalism is a serious crime punishable under the law. Vandalizing electrical equipment will affect millions of Nigerians, including your loved ones. Remember that national assets belong to all of us, hence the need to protect them. Report all cases of suspicious movement around electrical facilities to security agencies. When you see something, say something. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation in collaboration with the National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, Office of the National Security Advisor.
We're glad to know you're still there. Fixing prices of goods and prohibition of sale above controlled price are some of the advantages of a well-regulated price system in a country, which also helps to check the issue of inflation. Adejoke Odeka reports on the regulating price system in Nigeria and its impact on the economy.
It is the joy of every country that its citizens are comfortable and pleased with the outcomes of systems put in place by the government, be it promotional, distributive, redistributive, or even regulatory. One of the major systems put in place in Nigeria is price regulation conducted by the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act, FCCPA, that estimates the cost of doing business and determines a just and reasonable price for consumers.
Everybody fixes their prices the way they feel like, and that is affecting everybody entirely. Things are very, very expensive.
Most thing we are buying in the market, at times, it's, let me say it's fluctuating. either going up more than before.
Experts also believe that if the cost of basic commodities like staple food, fuel, and medicine can be duly monitored and regulated, it will prevent exploitation by sellers, reduce poverty, and promote social welfare.
For you to really fix price effectively, you must have a measure of supply, right? Because without supply, what you do is that you introduce scarcity, artificial scarcity. The law of economics says, law of supply actually says that the higher the supply of something, the lower the cost. So once you don't have high supply, and you have high demand, what that goes is drives high prices.
Economists urge the government to intensify the process of ensuring that the law of supply and demand reflect in market prices across board. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
And to give us more insight on the riddle of Nigerian market price, I have with me Mr. Bola Olojede, a financial expert. Thanks for joining us on Panorama today.
Yeah, nice to be here.
Okay, let's start by looking at Nigeria's street economics. That seems to be like risk law of basic economics. Why is it like that?
Well, it's not really as if it doesn't follow the normal law, but sometimes you also need to understand how some of these laws work. There's an expectation that if the price of a product has gone down, then the retail price or the price of derivatives of that product should also commensurately go down. But typically there's a lagging time, and that lagging time could be something that has to do with inventory. So even if refinery, for example, dropped the price of fuel, but I bought my own at the previous price that was more expensive, so I will not react immediately. So that lagging is always there, and it also represents an opportunity for intervention anyway.
Okay, talking about the lagging, demand and supply in Nigeria, is this truly inelastic with prices of goods going up and hanging there?
The main problem is supply. We're not dealing well enough with the issue of availability. Where the supply is robust enough, the market forces will work as they're supposed to work. But where there is not enough supply, the market will not react as we expect it to react, even when prices seem to have gone down.
Okay, when root prices of goods stabilize, what are the things one should be aware, or what are the things one should look out for?
As the market adjusts, sometimes market could get stuck by virtue of certain intervention, even from the private sector. I give you an example. If you get to the bus park in Lagos, it is not the driver at the bus park that determines the price. There are some people who load those buses. They are the ones that determine the prices. So it means that if I see a gap, one way that government will intervene is an engagement with that association, that middle person that seems to regulate the private sector pricing. So if I have a proper engagement with them, that I can ensure that the people, the consumers, get the full benefit of lowering prices. Otherwise, they will stay right there in the middle and they won't pass down the benefit that should have accrued to the people.
So in this case, how can the nation's street economics be regulated using economic forces?
Let's deal with the issues of supply. So if it is transportation, let's intervene in such a way that there is more supply of those buses. If it is food, let's deal with the intervention that makes food supply available. When we deal with the supply issues, the rest will fall into place, as it were.
Okay, I know you've spoken about government engaging the market forces.
Yes.
But in this case, if people really want to feel the impact, who should determine the prices? Is it those people or the government?
It is a mix of many things. Typically, it should be the market forces, but market forces do not always behave correctly because of certain hindrances. Then there will be intervention. Government can intervene in those market forces when they are not behaving as expected, and get the benefit to the people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olojede, for your time.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate your insight.
You're welcome.
Now moving on, Super Eagles camp bubbles ahead of World Cup qualifying matches. For more on this and other stories, let's join Olumide Eguntola on Sports Updates.
More players arrive Super Eagles camp in Kigali ahead of Friday's World Cup qualifying match against Rwanda. The Eric Church side needs a good result from the match to keep hope alive of getting a ticket to the World Cup. Super Eagles are 5th in Group C with 3 points from 4 matches, while Rwanda is leading the group with 7 points. After the match, the Eagles will return to Nigeria to host Zimbabwe 4 days later at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo. Meanwhile, the Executive Committee of the Nigerian Football Federation at its meeting held in Abuja charged the Super Eagles to go all out for the 6 points in both matches and resolved to work harder to ensure that all the national teams are successful in all their national and international assignments. And here in Lagos, as the second stanza of Nigeria's second-tier league, Nigeria Nationwide League, begins, Chairman of the board, George Alu, says with the steady progress achieved so far, the nation will reap the benefits in style. He explained that the recognition given to some individuals and organizations is to sustain the gains and encourage those supporting sports development.
It's sports in Nigeria. Not too many people are supporting it, but everybody wants Nigeria to win. We have the talent, and when people are supporting sports, there you need to say kudos to them.
And in tennis, the second leg of the Sunshine Doubles, the 2025 Miami Open, starts off Tuesday at the Hard Rock Stadium, Miami, as star players are set to take center stage. Novak Djokovic will be eager to win, having lost 3 matches in a row for the first time since 2018. He has been handed a bye in the first round and will compete on the court in the second round. With Sports Update, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
That's it on Panorama from the Lagos Network Center of the NTA. Thanks for watching. I am Hingino John Adams.